Okay. All right. Well, welcome to the Saturday night sleepy thinking event. We've got several different sleepy teenies we're going to make for you. I sent out the list ahead of time of materials that you would need. Tonight, we're going to be using things like tart cherry juice. We've got some chamomile tea. This one actually has lavender in it. It's got some pineapple, banana, kiwi, cucumber, pistachios. I'm going to talk to you about all these as we get going. So, to start off with, a sleepy teeny obviously has no alcohol in it. Alcohol is actually not good for sleep. Alcohol may help you fall asleep, but it will also wake you in the middle of the night. So you do not get good, restful sleep with alcohol. So if you think that having that glass of wine is good for your sleep, you may want to think again. It's actually not. A sleepy teeny, on the other hand, has a lot of benefits. We use things that are rich in melatonin and other types of chemicals that help your body calm down and prepare for the night. So let's start talking about this. I've got some organic chamomile and lavender tea. You can use any sort of chamomile tea, but I actually like this one. I just made a pot of boiling hot water, and I'm going to go ahead, take out our tea bag, and put that in here and give it a chance to steep. So I'm going to put the tea back over here so that we have room to do our work. Now, the very first thing I'm going to do tonight is a really special sleepy tea. It includes banana. It includes, oh, I forgot the strawberries. Got strawberries and blueberries in here. Let's get those prepared. Fresh strawberries and blueberries from the market today. And this one has pistachios in it, but it's obviously you're not going to drink a pistachio nut, but let me show you what we're going to do with it. We're actually going to take this and open it. Inside, we've got our pistachio nuts. Mm, tasty. Okay. So to start off with, we need to do something with these pistachios. Here's what we're going to do. I've got a blender over here. I'm going to put several pistachio nuts inside. We're going to close this up. Now you can use a coffee grinder, spice blender. You could even crush it by hand if you wanted to, but I want to crush this up into small little sprinkle size pistachio pieces. So I'm going to put this in. Turn our power on, and then I'm going to go ahead and pulse this. And just as fast as that, you can see we have a lot of sort of like a pistachio dust in a way. So we have plenty of pistachio here. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead. Let's get a cup for this. We'll put our pistachio dust in this cup so that we have it to use in a minute. The one thing about pistachios is they have some natural oils in them. So you see it gives a ring around the container here, which we'll just scrape it off so that we get this all in our cup because we're going to use this for the other piece of this. All right. So we've got our chamomile tea brewing over here. We have some banana. Now, banana, pretty hard to drink a banana, right? Not exactly. Let's go ahead and open this one. Okay. Nice fresh banana from the market today. Had to go out shopping for all this ingredients today to make sure we had fresh things for the recording tonight. Okay, so let's talk about this for a minute. I made some notes to make sure I didn't forget anything here. Bananas, high in potassium, high in magnesium, moderate tryptophan content, and that assists in serotonin conversion. Okay. So, tryptophan is a thing that you'll find in turkey and other foods, and then that helps the serotonin conversion. All this is part of the process that goes on in your body to help the chemicals prepare for you for a good night of sleep. Okay. Bananas are also carbohydrates that help the tryptophan cross the blood brain barrier. So, it helps the chemicals, in your brain, and they provide balanced carbohydrates to sustain gentle glucose levels. So you don't get any sugar spikes and things that are going to kind of keep you awake. So we're going to take some banana and we're going to cut little pieces. And we're going to put that in our container here. A little bit more. Okay, we've got our banana. Then we want to put some strawberry. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful strawberries. Another one. And whenever you have beautiful strawberries, you have to eat one. Wow. Fresh, full of flavor. Let's throw another one in there. All right. Strawberry, banana, and we're going to take our chamomile lavender tea and fill that up a little bit so we cover all the fruit with the tea. We're going to put our blade back on. Now, this is the only sleepy teeny we're making tonight where we're using an actual blender. The others, we're going to do some muddling, but let's do this one. Put this back in the blender. Power on. You can see we've got that beautiful combination of the red from the strawberry and the yellow from the banana gives us a nice pink color. In this particular case, it's warm, right? Because we just put some hot chamomile tea in. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cool it down. How do we do that? We're going to pour it into our shaker here. Put this back here. And put this back here. And then we're going to add some ice. Put our lid back on. Now, I put the shaker, the one that I'm using, this particular kit, because it came with everything that I needed. I put this in the link to the preparation for the event, so you can find it in here. But the good thing about a shaker like this is the metal shaker really helps that cool distribute. So I can feel the warm in the bottom here and I can feel the ice on top. Now we're going to shake. Now you can feel this entire thing has become cold. It really feels like the ice. It's that quick that it takes the cooling. And take our martini glass. We'll open up the shaker. Look at that. Look at that. It's a little bit thick because of the banana and the strawberry, but man, oh man, look at that. Okay. Now, remember we crumbled up the pistachio? Pistachio is one of the highest foods in melatonin. We hear about tart cherry juice, which we're actually going to use later, but a lot of people talk about tart cherry juice because it's got lots of melatonin. Pistachios are like multiple times the amount of melatonin. That's why we're using some pistachio. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to take some, and I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top. Look how beautiful that is. And what I didn't tell you about was a strawberry. Strawberries contain small amounts of melatonin plus vitamin C and B vitamins. That helps the melatonin synthesis, one of the reasons for the strawberries. And it's also anti inflammatory. So, a lot of people these days are concerned about getting dementia when they're older. If you read some of the books about proper diet to help avoid dementia, strawberries are a big plus in helping that. So, when you go to bed at night, you typically go through sleep cycles. Stage one sleep is when you're, you know, kind of ready to fall asleep, sort of groggy, not fully there. Stage two, a little bit deeper. And then you get to stage three. Stage three sleep is your deep sleep. That's where your brain starts to clear out all the toxins. That's where all your memory consolidates. That's where all the good stuff happens in sleep. And after stage three, you get down into your REM sleep, stage four sleep. You call it different things. REM sleep is where your body and your muscles actually freeze and your mind is active. And this is why you dream, but you don't have to worry about flailing around or anything when you're dreaming because your muscles are frozen. Now, there are certain sleep disorders that can occur, where your muscles are not freezing when they should. And that's a whole different issue we can talk about in the sleep doctor. But right now, you go through this cycle every 90 to 120 minutes. Stage one, two, three, REM, one, two, three, REM. So all of this is designed to help you with that process. But now we have to taste this because that just looks way too inviting. Well, cool strawberry banana. The pistachio gives it just a little hint of, I'm not even sure what to call it, but something special. You can tell there's something special in there. And with the benefits of the natural melatonin, ah, what a great drink. The other thing that's important to know is so many people go out to the drugstore and they buy melatonin. And what do you find in the drugstore? You find 5 milligrams, 10 milligrams. That's commonly what you find. And people think that, oh, if I take melatonin, it'll put me out, it'll put me to sleep. Well, let's talk about that. Melatonin does not put you to sleep. It doesn't knock you out. Melatonin is a chemical cue to your body to prepare itself for sleep. So melatonin isn't a sedative. It's not going to knock you out. It just signals your body that it's time to sleep. Now, your body naturally produces melatonin. When? When the sun goes down and the light goes down, that's the cue to your body to start producing melatonin, which helps you prepare to get to sleep. This is why we talk about blue light and other things that interrupt your ability to fall asleep, because when your body is receiving light, especially blue light, it inhibits melatonin production. So if you get away from blue lights and get into natural darkness, your body will make its own melatonin. You don't need extra melatonin. The only time you may want to use melatonin is sometimes if you're dealing with jet lag or certain issues like that. On a regular basis, excuse me, not needed. The other thing is, if you are to use melatonin as a supplement, point 0.1 to 3 milligrams is the max you should ever be looking at. 5 milligrams and 10 milligrams, way too much. What do? They actually work in reverse. And so the next day, when you take way too much melatonin, which is so common these days, then you're going to go ahead and get brain fog and other things that are going to make your day miserable. You're going to be kind of tired and out of it. And that's exactly what you don't want. You want to have a nice, restful evening. So, all right, one more sip of this because this is just way too good. I got to finish this because we got to use this glass for the next one. Let me rinse this out. Okay. So to recap, that was chamomile tea, banana, fresh strawberry, And then we have the pistachio crumble on top. All right. What's next? Okay. Who knows what this is? This is a kiwi. Kiwis actually come in two different colors. There's the green and the gold. So when you open it up, typically you see the green out there because it's so pretty the way it photographs and things. But the gold is also a very pretty color. So we've got kiwi, it's got a peel on it. And in this case, we're also going to be using apple. Now, I like Golden Delicious apples because of their flavor profile. It's got a little bit of tartness, but not too much. It's got good flavor. It's good texture. I just tend to like these apples better. So what's the deal with these? So kiwi, this contains melatonin and serotonin precursors, and clinical studies have shown that it gives improved sleep quality. It also has it's a natural serotonin source with antioxidant support. So there's your kiwi. And the apple gives you fiber and moderate carbohydrate content that promotes steady blood sugar through the night. Again, we want to avoid these blood sugar spikes. So we want steady, calm blood sugar. So what do we do with these things? Well, here's what we do. This is going to be a muddling exercise. So what do I mean by that? Let's start with the kiwi. And take the end off here. Toss that. And then I'm going to slice a couple slices kiwi. Look at that. That's the beautiful green kiwi that we talk about. Get one more slice. Okay. Now you'll notice I left the kiwi rind on because a lot of the melatonin is in the kiwi rind. Now we're going to eat that? No, we're not going to eat that. But here's what we're going to do with it. We're going to cut it up into little pieces. We're going to put it into a muddling glass. So I've got kiwi in here. This other piece we'll save to the side. And then I've got apple. I'm going to take some nice slices of apple here. And I'll dice it up. And again, that's just so beautiful. I have to taste. Very, very flavorful. I'm going to put that in here too. Okay. So I told you the purpose of the apple, the purpose of the kiwi. Add in the tea. All right. We've got chamomile tea. Now, before I go too much further, I'm going to make sure I clean this out so that we're ready to use it. Okay. Now, the reason I have this whole set here is because it has all the pieces I need. This is a muddling stick. You see it's got kind of ridges on the bottom to help kind of press into the fruit or vegetable, whatever you're using to bring out the liquids from it. So you can imagine apple is, fibrous. The kiwi is much softer, but we're going to go ahead and we're just going to muddle, which means we're just going to press down on it. And the whole idea here is to let all the natural juices out of the apple, out of the kiwi, and infuse it into the chamomile tea. Now, we don't need to worry about the fact I know I showed you that I left the rind on the kiwi. That was intentional. Okay, there we go. Nice and muddled. What do we need to do? We need to take our shaker here. Gonna add some ice and pour our drink in, pop on, and shake. It's amazing how instantly this whole thing gets super cold. It's like you just took it out of the freezer and it just happens instantly. Okay, go ahead and pour that in here. Look at that nice green color from the kiwi and the apple. Mm, okay. And of course, I saved this piece of kiwi because gotta garnish it. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Where do you taste it? Wow. The flavor profiles are very even. So you can definitely taste the chamomile and the lavender. You can taste the kiwi. And then there's the apple that just kind of rounds out the whole flavor. It's so calming. There's nothing strong. There's nothing overpowering. There's nothing biting here. But what a great way to sort of wind down before you go to bed. It's just a great drink. Mm. All right. Let's clean up here and get ready for the next. Hang on. Okay. So there's two. We've got two sleepy teenies done. What are we doing next? This one, really simple. Okay. This one, I don't know what you think about pineapple, but I think pineapple is just a beautiful flavor because it's got a strong, sweet flavor and it just adds to anything you have. And so in this particular case, we're going to go really, really simple. We are going to take some pineapple. I bought some pineapple chunks. Fresh is always better. I just couldn't get the fresh today. So I'm going to put some pineapple chunks in here. See that? Again, like I said, this one is simple. Pineapple chunks, chamomile tea. Chamomile tea is a great base for the liquid that you need for sleepy teenies. Um, could you use other things? Tart cherry juice? Sure. Could you use other types of liquids? Sure. Seltzer water? Sure. But chamomile tea is just such a great base, so that's why I use that. Muddling stick, and very simple. We're going to sort of pulverize the pineapple in here or muddle it. And we're going to get all that sweet juice out of the pineapple and infuse it into the chamomile lavender tea. And, too bad you can't smell what I'm smelling here, but the aromas are just really something that makes you want to salivate. Okay, got that muddled. In this case, we're going to put the ice in. Now, we can pour this right in here because in the lid of this, you'll see it's kind of strained, but sometimes it clogs up a little bit. And that's why I like the fact that we have this strainer. So sometimes when I know I have a lot of thick pieces, I like to kind of strain it as I pour it in. Makes it easier to mix. Okay. And we're going to put the lid on and we're going to do the shake. And again, you have that hot, boiling hot tea that goes in, and you add the ice. And so the shaker starts off really hot in the bottom where the tea is. You add the ice, you shake it. You can see it's sweating already because it's so cold. It's just instant freezing. You can take that, put that in here. Look at that beautiful golden color from the pineapple. You know what? I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the pistachio over this one just because. And let's give that a try. Wow. You get the pistachio because it's the little pieces. Because this particular tea is chamomile with lavender, the lavender definitely is in there. It's not overpowering, it's there. The pineapple, again, depending on how much you use, you saw the amount I used, a nice, subtle, sweet pineapple flavor. And let's talk about pineapple for a second. Pineapple is demonstrated to raise the circulating melatonin levels. Okay. It provides tryptophan and vitamin C, which are key for serotonin synthesis. And it contains bromelain, which reduces inflammation and supports muscle recovery. So there's the benefits of your pineapple. Again, with the pistachio, we've got that ultra high levels of melatonin from a natural source. Then you have one of these while you're sitting and reading a book or listening to some music as you wind down for bed. You can't help but have a great night of sleep. Now we're going through these, so I need to keep going through, but I just don't want to spill this out because it's just so good. And since there's no alcohol, no danger here. I will sleep well tonight, though. All right, let's clean up and get ready for the next. Okay, so what are we doing next? Now we're going to get into the one that you read so much about, the tart cherry juice. Let's rinse this out. Okay, so in this case, we're going to do tart cherry juice, which I have some in here because the bottle was too big, and blueberries. Nice fresh blueberries along with my strawberries. I'm going to put some of those in here. Now, why? What do I get from each of these? Well, with the blueberries, they're dense in polyphenol antioxidants that support neural recovery and circadian regulation. Circadian rhythm is the thing that helps you get to sleep. So, sun goes down, your circadian rhythm kicks in, which means that your body starts to produce melatonin that signals to the rest of your system that it's time to get ready for bed. Again, melatonin is not a sedative, it's a signal to your body to prepare for sleep. Then you fall asleep. As you're sleeping, you get into that deeper sleep. And around 3 a.m., your body starts to come out of that cycle, your circadian rhythm. And so a lot of people say, why do I wake up at 3 a.m.? Well, because what's happened at 3 a.m. is your circadian rhythm is now getting ready to start prepping for the day. You no longer are going into, we talked about the sleep cycles before, cycle 1, 2, 3, REM, and then we repeat. About 3 a.m., we actually stop repeating. We've done our sleep cycles for the night, and now we go into stage 1 and stage 2 sleep only. That's your lighter stages of sleep. So your melatonin production has stopped. Your body is starting to prepare for the day. You're in a lighter type of sleep. And then if you've got anxiety, if you've got something going on, like maybe a bed partner who snores, or maybe the baby's crying, or maybe the dog jumps up on the bed and it wakes you up. Now, if you have sleep apnea that's untreated, that will also wake you up because you gasp for air. And sleep apnea is not to be taken lightly. If you snore and you are told that you're gasping for air at the night, so in other words, you snore and then you stop breathing, and you do this gasp for air, that's sleep apnea. That needs to be treated. Video for a different day. Okay, so we've got our blueberries. And what did I say? We're doing the tart cherry juice. So I'm going to pour some in here. The tart cherry juice. Now, tart cherry juice supports sleep by naturally increasing melatonin and tryptophan levels. And that can shorten your sleep onset and improve your overall sleep quality. So we've got that. And again, we're going to add the chamomile, which helps to calm you. And again, our muddling stick. We want to get all the blueberry juices out of these nice, fresh blueberries. Expensive too, I might add. They like to run away. You got to really track them down. Make sure you squeeze all the juice out of them. Okay. So again, all these things, remember, when it's time to sleep and you want to get a good night's sleep, you want a cool room. Around 67 degrees is about what we expect. Dark as possible, pitch black if possible. No noise. If there's noises that you can't get away from, get a white noise machine or something and play the white noise. Now, that does not mean birds chirping or water uh, going down a stream. Why? Because white noise is just this constant. It's a constant. When you have birds chirping or boats out in the ocean or something, they start to create patterns. And so you hear chirp, chirp, and then some water sprinkling, and eventually chirp, and then some water. Well, your body starts listening for when's the next chirp going to happen? Is it going to be a double chirp? Is it going to be a single chirp? Is what kind of bird? And so it actually keeps you awake. That's why we don't do that. That's why we go for white noise or pink noise or brown noise or green noise. Again, a video for another day. Okay. Ice. And this is, I'm going to strain this one because the blueberries will clog up the top here. We don't want that to happen. Okay. And we're going to shake. It's really, if you're not doing this with me and you do it afterwards, it's amazing how quickly this thing becomes really, really cold. It's just instantaneous. Okay, here we go. Wow. Look at the color. That's your tart cherry juice and your blueberry together. So you've got the purplish blue from the blueberry. You've got the, pinkish red from the tart cherry juice. Let's give it a try. Wow. You can taste the tart. It's definitely in there. The blueberry is a very light addition. I happen to like tart, so that's really it's like this punch of tart. Mm. So again, we're talking about how to get good sleep. You want to be able to create for yourself this wind down period, ideally at least an hour before bed. You get yourself ready for bed, you brush your teeth, you get in your bed clothes, and just sit down, not in your bed, but sit down somewhere. Take out a book, a nice paper book, not blue light, reading on your screen, but take out a book and read the book or listen to a podcast about something or whatever it is. Just don't listen to things that get you, engaged and agitated and irritated. Worst things to do would be reading the news. That'll get you all pumped up. Reading social media is designed to keep you up and keep you engaged. We don't want those before bed. And you don't want to do any of this in bed. The only thing that you should be doing in bed is sleeping and potentially intimacy. That's it. We don't scroll our phones in bed. We don't watch TV in bed. We don't eat in bed. We don't drink sleepy teenies in bed. All this is done before you get into bed. And you only get into bed when you are so tired that you are ready to just hit the pillow once you get into bed. That's going to give good, restful sleep. All right, one last sip of this. I'll move on to the next one. And I believe it is the final one. Mm, so good. Okay, what are we doing last? I'm gonna use this cucumber. How many times have you gone to like a fancy hotel or a fancy restaurant and they have cucumber water and they slice up the cucumber and they put it in a big vat of cold iced water and you drink it and you can taste that hint of cucumber. It just gives that refreshing feeling. So we're going to capture that here as well. Cucumber has, high water content. It's very low calorie, non-stimulating, doesn't give you any sugar spikes, right? It's a great way to wind down. Now, I could take the peeler and peel the cucumber, but again, intentionally, I'm not going to because this is going to be something that again that we muddle, and I want to be able to get all of the goodness out of the cucumber. So let me just kind of take the end off here, toss that, and we'll get a couple slices cucumber. And then I like to dice them up because it makes it easier to muddle when we do it that way. And you can smell the fresh cucumber as I'm doing this because the juices are coming out. We don't typically think of cucumbers as, juicy, but they do have a lot of water content. And so you get that cucumber flavor that comes out. Okay, so there's our cucumber. And in this case, we're also going to add some of this apple that we had before. Take another slice of apple, and we'll go ahead and cut that into pieces. You can see the apple juice just coming out on the cutting board here. Okay. And then we're going to go for our base, the tea, the chamomile tea. Muddling stick. Here we go. Something satisfying about muddling your drink because you can feel the cucumber and the apple just sort of crushing, the giving way under the muddling stick. And then you get the aroma of the fresh juices coming out. It's just, I guess you know what the outcome is going to be, or at least I do because I've made these enough, and you will too soon enough. But what a simple, easy thing to do for a nice, refreshing wind down. Okay, muddled that. Again, we're going to take this ice, and then I'm going to strain this one because there's just a lot here that was going to clog up the shaker if I don't. What's left. Mm, okay. And then again, warm, cold. It starts to shake immediately, right there. Immediately, the whole thing is frozen. Wow, it's really cold. Here we go. Okay. Cucumber, apple, chamomile tea, a little bit of lavender. This one, super, super subtle. It's like, I'm not even sure. It's kind of like a cloud, what a cloud would taste like. It's just this subtle little hints of flavor. And it's cold. Imagine just sipping on one of these while you're winding down for bed. Calm lights. You don't want bright lights. You got to be careful today too when you go out and purchase light bulbs because we have these new LED lights now. And I don't know whether you know it, but LED lights come in different sort of colors of white light. And there's the harsh blue light that's super bright and super white. That's great to wake you up, not to prepare for sleep. There's others that are more of the yellowish tones, the calmer tones, much, much better for you to prepare for sleep. Several of the bulbs and things out today, you can choose the color on the bulb just by, the way you switch it on or something. They all have different ways of doing it. But at nighttime, that's what you want. You want to calm the lights down, slow the light down, make it the warmer shades of light. Have a sleepy teeny. The act of going through the process of just making the sleepy teeny itself is relaxing. And again, don't get confused because we call it a sleepy teeny. It does not have alcohol. No alcohol, none is needed, and none should be desired if you want to get good sleep. So um, this has been, let's see, we'll review. We had the banana strawberry with the pistachio crumble. We had the kiwi apple. We had the pineapple. We did the tart cherry juice and blueberry. And we did the cucumber apple. Now, with that, making sure people are able to get in. Okay. So with that, we are going to wrap up today. You can see we have the kit here, everything you need to make your sleepy teenies. Now, I will tell you on Club Sleepwell, where you found this on Meetup, we do sleep support groups and we do Ask the Sleep Science Guy. So people come on and we'll talk about bedding material and what type of mattress and pillows and what's going on when such and such happens to sleep. Anything related to sleep, we're here to talk about. We also have the radio show Sleep Science Today that goes all around the world. And we do one new episode every single week. We talk with sleep scientists, sleep specialists. We look at new sleep products that are out there, pretty much anything and everything related to sleep, but done from an educational perspective so that we uh, truly tell you what's out there. It's not, we don't sell anything, there's nothing to be sold. It's all about educating you about sleep. So if you enjoyed this, please give us a 5-star rating if you believe it's worth that on Meetup. Go to our YouTube channel. The way to get to our YouTube channel, the way to get to anything and everything we do is you simply go to sleepsciencetoday.com and you'll see everything is laid out there on the page. You can find all the different things we do, and it's all free. We're not charging you for anything. And it's designed to help you sleep better. So watch some of our YouTube videos. This is going to be broadcast up on YouTube. So we'll be able to share this with other people. And if you go there, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you're on YouTube watching this video, please like and subscribe. And again, join us on sleepsciencetoday.com. And we love having you here. We hope you come to future events. And I hope this has been educational for you. I appreciate you spending your Saturday night with me. Look forward to doing it again. Sleep well. Try your own sleepy before you go to bed tonight and enjoy.